So you want to host a multiplayer game and you don't know how to. I'm going to give you some basic tips that you could use to host your first multiplayer game and have a good time. So first off, before you start a lobby or anything, make a Discord server, all right? And in this Discord server, you'll need a couple channels, right? You'll need a general channel. Well, you don't need a general channel really, but just a channel for people to talk into. You need an announcement channel where you'll be posting announcements when you're going to host your game, your ID. If you have a reservation sheet, you can make a reservation channel. Uh, if you're playing in a mod, make a mod channel. Make sure no one can type in that channel besides you or people who are hosting as well, because you don't want people griefing the other channels. You don't want people messing up your channels, making it hard for your players to find where the mod is or what the rules are. A rule channel too, and it is important too. You need rules in your game. You can try to host a no rules game. I've seen a couple no rules games when I've been, searching for lobbies, and they just don't work really because people are probably just going to troll your game. If there's no rules, how are they going to know, what to do, what to not? Some people don't know what, playing fair is, and some people, you know, they'll, justify you in 1936. If there's no rules as Russia, they'll just justify in Germany 1936 and kill them or something like that. So you need rules. And if you don't know, if you don't want to make your own rules, you don't know how to make your own rules. You can find rules, all right. You can Google just Hoi4 rule set, Hoi4 vanilla rule set, or if you're hosting a mod, you can join their official mod Discord server. They'll probably have a mod rule set up there where you can just ask around, and someone will provide you with a rule set. I would suggest look it over yourself. If you're the host, you need to know your own rules because you have to enforce your own rules. And if you don't like the rule set that you get given, you can always tweak that rule set, but don't tweak it in a bias. That works for you. If you're going to play Germany and the strat for Germany that's banned is really good, don't unban that strat just for that game. You gotta have fair rules. The next thing is VCs. Have a couple of voice chats ready. Have an Axis channel, have an Allies channel, have a channel for Japan, have a channel for the Soviets. I would suggest even having a couple other channels too that people can just go into and talk. Because during the game, sometimes not all the allies members need to be in the same channel at the same time. US, you don't really need to talk to US that much before war. So US could just go into another channel, with like Mexico or something. They can just hang out there for a bit. They don't need to be in the allies channel. Japan. A Japan channel is important because you don't want, Japan and the European Axis really in the same channel during war because their comms have nothing to do with each other. What's happening on Barb doesn't matter to Japan. What's happening in Singapore doesn't really matter to Germany. If they care, they can just zoom out, look on the map, see what's going on. Commentary channel too. Same idea. So yeah, make a Discord server. That's the first thing you got to do. And next up, we're going to go into the game. I'm going to show you how to make sure your lobby gets a lot of clicks. All right, so we're in Hoi4 now, and I'm just going to show you how to host a lobby and get a lot of players in it. Now, if you see a lot of lobbies and you wonder why they have a question mark or an exclamation mark at the start or numbers at the start of their lobby, that's because by alphabetical order, these special characters and the numbers are actually at the top, not the bottom. So a question mark will show up a question mark at the start of the name will show up before 1936 does. And that's why you see lobbies with a ton of exclamation marks, because if someone has 4 exclamation marks and someone has, the next lobby has 3, the lobby with 4 will show up at the top. If you're sorting alphabetically, of course. If you're sorting by players, it doesn't really matter, though usually the highest player count lobbies will have a question mark if they're like a random lobby. So yeah, if you're hosting a public game that you want people to join, don't set a password because these people won't know your password unless you have a big if you have a big group on your Discord and you don't want random people joining, then yeah, you can set a password. But if you're just trying to get players and you don't have anyone, then don't set a password. The name of the server, when you click host on it, it'll just put like whatever your like username is in Hoi4. Now you want to change that, and I'll show you, a good way to name your lobby. So you don't have a bunch of question marks. And if you're hosting, non-hist, hist, if you're rehosting in a mod, whatever, 1936, let's say, rehost in or 1936 hist. You put the year, and then whether it's hist or non-hist, and then you can put rehost and mod. Or sometimes, if the mod has a small name, you can even put like rehost and TFB, because that's a really popular mod right now. People are going to see that lobby and they're going to be like, TFB, I like that mod, I'm going to join that lobby. Server tags. Now, server tags show up right here. It's unfortunately blocked by this, but it'll show up right here. So, a lot of people will have like rehost and mod, Discord required. You want to have Discord required in your title, either in the tags or the name. And you want to have, if you're rehosting a mod, you want to put that somewhere, either the tags or the name. Description, that doesn't really matter. And these little check marks here, these actually help because these help a lot with like private lobbies and stuff. Because there was a time where these, if you only could host public lobbies, anyone could see your lobby. Now you can private your lobby, and you can only join by the ID, which helps against a lot of people that people used to DDoS lobbies and troll lobbies. This is just a good counter to that. So yeah, if you're hosting a public lobby, click public. And yeah, then the lobby's up. And if you want hot join on, the hot join button's right there. And once you're in the game, if you don't have hot join on and you need someone to co-op, you can open the menu, click options, the one at the far right. You click on that little sub tab, and it'll show you. It'll have a little hot join thing that you can click on and like to turn it on or off. Now, if you're hosting your own game, you don't have to do this, but I'd recommend it. Play a major, and that's because play a major, or you don't even have to play a major, but know about majors. Know what to expect out of a major player. Know a little bit about the Soviet build, because you want to vet your majors in a random lobby, especially because you don't know if this USA player who says they can play USA is as good as the Germany player. This USA player could say they know how to play USA, and maybe they do for like someone with like 200 hours. But if this Germany has 3,000 hours, then it's not going to be a fair fight at all. Germany's probably going to end up invading US or capping the entire Allies or something like that. So yeah, you want to be able to vet all the majors, and you don't even have to know everything about the majors. You can just know basic stuff like what doctrines are good for what countries, or like just ask them what kind of build they're going to do even, and if just hear them out, hear their build out, and if it sounds reasonable, you can probably let them play the major, or even ask for an hour count too. Screenshot your Steam hours, send it to me on Discord. Just some way to verify that they know what they're doing. And you can't be perfect. You could vet someone, and then in the game, turns out they actually have no idea what they're doing. They only knew a little bit, and that happens with lobbies. You can't avoid that. But these are just some ways that you can minimize the threat of someone in your game being not up to par. And if someone fails vetting, say you have a Germany player and they fail vetting, you don't have to kick them from your lobby. I would never kick them from my lobby if they failed vetting, unless they were like super toxic or something. Just tell them that another country is open. Like be like you can play Hungary, you can play Romania, or you can co-op Germany. If we find a Germany main, I'll see if they're all right with you co-oping them and maybe learning about how to play Germany. So the next time you host, if they didn't leave your Discord at the end of the game, they could play Germany if they picked up on how to play it by the end of the game. Is there any other tips that I have? I'm trying to think. Enforce your rules. People are going to try exploiting your rules. There's going to be people who are going to try breaking the system in your game. Oh, this is not technically against the rules. No. Enforce the rules. If you think it's not allowed and it wasn't in the rules, tell them, all right, well, it's banned moving forward. I know it sucks, but that's just how it's going to go. I thought, this rule implied that was not allowed. Apparently not. You're just not going to do that going forward. And some people will take it well, some people won't. Just enforce your rules, because people are going to try messing with your lobby eventually. And I don't really have much more to say about hosting games. It's pretty simple, honestly. You want to run the game at 4 speed until there's like a war. For Spain, you can go down to 3 speed, but if you're playing vanilla, I probably wouldn't recommend doing that because vanilla is kind of slow. So I would, recommend staying on 4 speed for Spain, just like 4 speed till it's 39. If Japan's all right with that. If Japan's not all right with that, then you can go to 3 speed for the China war, I guess. But I would try to maintain 4 speed till Germany declares war. If someone's lagging, don't give them too much. Like, don't hold back the lobby for an hour for one person. If New Zealand's lagging, they're gonna have to go if they can't fix their internet. And that's unfortunate. It sucks. It doesn't feel good to ban someone from your game, but it just has to happen. The game has to go. The game's got to go on. And if it has to go on without New Zealand, then that's all right. Sometimes it ends up being a major player that's lagging. So I would ask, you can ask around, if the major players have good Wi-Fi or not. But that honestly depends. Someone could have good Wi-Fi and they're playing a major, but they're from Poland and you're from the west coast of the U.S. and they're just naturally going to lag. So that's something to look out for too. If you're a West Coast host and Germany's, from Eastern Europe, you might want to ask for like an internet speed check or something because they might lag your game, or if they don't lag your game, by the time it hits Barb, they'll probably be complaining that they're lagging. They'll probably be like, "Oh, I have input lag. We got to rehost. Let me hot join," and they'll just hold back your game. And really, the rehosting or having them leave and hot join again, it's not going to fix the issue. There's some issues you can't fix, and if you're 7,000 kilometers apart from each other, you're not going to fix that issue, unfortunately. So that's something to be mindful too. As well, there's certain times where lobbies get more people. If hosting around noon Eastern Standard Time, that's a good time to host because it's like 6 p.m. for Europeans. At the minimum, it's 9 a.m. for Americans. That's a good time to host a lobby. You'll get a lot of players that way. If you're hosting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll probably still get a full lobby, but you won't. It probably will take a lot longer because you won't have the Europeans in your lobby because they'll be all sleeping by then. So yeah, that's just a basic video on just some tips and stuff for how to host your first lobby. And if any of these are helpful, let me know. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the feedback. I do read all the comments. If I don't respond to them all, I'm just a little bit lazy, to be honest. I don't have time to respond to them all. But yeah, I appreciate all the support. 100 subs just hit that today. So yeah, appreciate all the support and peace out.